really just an awareness of the way in which the town had grown around the monastery, that maybe perhaps in the garden, the idea of the garden was something where you were much more aware of the larger context, the views of the mountains, rather than the immediate area, to give, how can I say, much more a feeling of really an internal environment, even outside in the garden.
Hier seht ihr auch so schön die Idee, die wir hatten mit dem Garten, wo man versuchen wird, wenn man im Garten ist, eigentlich ein bisschen die ganzen Berge und Landschaften um das Kloster herum erleben zu können und zu fühlen zu können.
Next one. So coming to the end now, I talked about burying the cars below ground and burying in the landscape the office expansion and the creation of a garden that would be kind of a miniature forest with a clearing within it. So it was really a much more kind of internal emphasis, and in a way would allow the contemplation of the mountains, the feeling of the valley, and really less of the immediate environment, but in that spirit, always respecting the fact that this is a wonderfully walled place within a place.
Hier sehen Sie sehr schön dieses Verwaltungsgebäude, wie das in die Landschaft eingebettet ist, wie es eher unterirdisch ist und nur in gewissen Teilen herausschaut, um das Licht reinzuholen, und auch die Autos, die unter dem Klostergarten dann versteckt werden. Sie sehen auch den Garten, ist wie ein kleiner Wald, in dem man versucht, dass die Leute sich also gegen innen zurückziehen können und eigentlich nur die Landschaft außen herum wahrnehmen, ohne die direkte Nachbarschaft. Und wo man sich zum Meditieren zurückziehen kann, wie das in dem Kloster früher auch war und wie das heute die Forscher dann machen können.
And so these really very, very dense silver birches evoked by the next image.
Und die Idee war, wirklich einen ganz dichten Birkenwald dort zu pflanzen, wo man wirklich in sich zurückgekehrt forschen und überleben kann und die Außenwelt vergessen.
It's okay, it's fine. That's it.
Das ist das Ende. Wir schließen ab mit einem historischen Bild vom Klosterschatz.
Thank you.
I think it was a very exciting presentation. Thank you very much for the work that you did and the team. I think now maybe Gary Odermatt, was the name of Nidwald and Canton. Maybe you present your stuff, and after we will open question and answer. If there are some questions, I think it's the right moment to speak directly with the designers.
Lord Foster, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you in the canton of Nidwald on behalf of the members from the government and as well from the community of Schranz. We were very impressed what we have seen here at your presentation, and it's a real attitude towards the spirit, towards the environment, towards nature and history, and I'm very impressed what we have seen here, and I think my colleagues have the same feeling. I want to thank you for what you did here. It's a big work, and it's very much respectful against nature and history. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to welcome you here, and I want to present you my colleagues from the government. It's Mrs. Beatrice Jan. She's responsible for culture and education and sports as well. Then we have Mrs. Gabriel. She's the head of the department for construction, and the ground and up, yeah, I suppose. Then Mr. Kaiser is the man who is responsible for the finances in our canton and taxes as well. Then we have Mr. Amstad, is Department for the Environment and landscaping. Then we have Mrs. Hartz, she's from our department, Economic, and she represents Mr. Lütti, who had to go to the medicine this morning. Then we have Mr. Kunz, works together with Mrs. Jan, is as you call Denkmalpflege. Thank you. Then we have Mr. Vogel, he's in the Department of Culture. Then Mr. Huse in the Department of Building and Construction. Then we have Mr. Bissig, he's from the community, he's responsible for yeah, okay, thank you. I'll be really good. Then from Mondobiotech, people you know. And anytime if you need something on Mr. Knoppel, we are willing to cooperate with you. And it's our interest that we can make something that's really for the future and doesn't